Alright, well, we have made holes. So basically, I felt really good about the alignment of the bridge plate. So I went ahead and put that on. I used a pin vise, and the pin vise comes with some micro drill bits. So I used those to spot the holes. I set them at depth, the correct depth of the screw. Ran those through, a little bigger size, and then I used they recommend drill bits in here for the recommended size. So I did that, and it wasn't too terribly difficult to drill through. I actually just used my Dremel extension here at a low speed, and it went through nicely. Wasn't too bad. So I did that, and then they also recommend, I've heard of this like when I was a kid from my grandfather, but I can't believe they had it in here. I've never seen anybody recommend this before or anything, but they recommend using a bar of soap and soaping the screws. This is for lubrication. So you just take it and you run it through the threads, and then when you put it into the wood, it allows the screw to go in a lot easier. It just lubricates the the screw ferrules and whatnot. It's right here in the tips. So it says dry bar soap on wood screw. So that's pretty cool. That worked out. So since I got that on and I felt really good about that, I went ahead and lined up the tailpiece, and I drilled those screws as well. I used the recommended string theory and I ran that through, put it on, everything looked straight and correct, and I marked the holes, and then I pulled everything off, and then I measured the holes, and as it went, the holes were pretty equal all around. So I said, you know what, it was nice and straight, they're pretty equal, it's going on. So there it went, and it's butted up nice with the I had thought that the button was off when I was initially doing the center line measurement, but it turns out that it isn't. So good job, Fender. So the only thing I didn't do, and then I have to wait on right now, is there was a couple holes next to where you put these. You run into the original bridge holes here, and they recommend to dowel them. So I didn't dowel everything, and in these I didn't even dowel either, because you would have to drill them out and actually dowel them. I'm not going to do that. What I did is I took this, and I'm hoping this will work out. I think it will. I took some of these, because I don't really want to I don't want to alter anything more than I need to, and I probably could have cut the holes without that. I just want the hole to collapse in on itself and then move on me, and that'll be bad. So I'm hoping this will work, and I really think that it will. But I put these in the holes, which fit perfectly. It's just a small little piece of wood there, and I used Tite Bond, and I got Tite Bond down in the hole, and then I just wiped it off clean. I'm going to let that set. I'm not going to do anything more for right now. I'm going to let that set, harden up, and then I'm going to attack those holes. It's really only right on the outer edge, so I don't think it'll be an issue. One thing I did notice about this bridge is they don't lock into these like you would think. Like, it's not like a tight fit. There's actually a little play in there, and there's a little pin right at the bottom of this, and this is kind of beveled inside, and it kind of sits in there, and I was surprised about that. I didn't realize that it would be this way, but I thought it would be a tighter fit, but nevertheless. So those will go on, you know, I'll cut the holes for those, and then the bridge will go in like that. And all my measurements look correct. Everything looks good. It seems to be going rather smoothly. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to let that set up, the tight bond, and then I should be able to cut those holes, drop those in, should be able to pull all the tape off, clean everything up, and then put all the screws in. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is Bigsby. This is the funniest thing of all. Bigsby gives you 5 screws for the bridge plate and 4 screws for the tailpiece. The 5 screws for the bridge plate are larger than the 4 screws for the tailpiece. I think this is moronic. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is the piece that moves, and it also has to go through this big piece of metal. So I don't understand, why would you make those the smaller screws? It makes absolutely no sense to me. So I'm not doing it that way. I put the 4 smaller screws into the bridge plate. I'm putting the four larger screws into this, the part that moves, the big piece of metal. And I'm actually just going to take the larger one that's left over, and I'm going to put it in the middle. But I don't know why they do that. It seems very odd to me why they would do that. If someone can enlighten me, that would be great, but I think that's how I'm going to do it on this. So it's actually funny, in one of the pictures they actually show a depiction of this screw being slightly larger there. Now I don't know if that's because of that or not, but in these screws, you can see in this depiction here, is these ones actually look larger than that, and it says it's bridge mounting screws. Why would it doesn't move? Why would they need to be larger? And it doesn't go through this big piece of, it just makes absolutely no sense to me. It's the strangest thing I've ever. I thought it was a mistake in the box, but it doesn't seem to be. Bigsby, why do you do that? I don't know. Anyway, check back, and we should be getting everything wrapped up.